if you're not growing, then you're not living.
Now that you've seen the role and obviously been successful in it, what were those big challenges? We're in this gorgeous new facility that is about to be able to produce next month 96,000 buns an hour.
Yes.
This is your family's business. How did this come to be?
My family has been in food manufacturing and baking 60 years. My father, Tim Brown, started out as a route salesman for Wonder Bread, Continental Baking, in the early 60s at Buffalo, New York. So baking has been in our family just that long. In 1996, he took an early retirement from Wonder Bread, and he purchased 2 McDonald's bakeries. I came on board in 2002. When I started, we had 185 employees, 2 facilities, and 3 production lines. 23 years later, we have over 700 employees, 5 facilities, and 14 individual production lines. New Horizons Baking Company is 40% of our business, and that produces only for McDonald's hamburger buns, all the core hamburger buns and English muffins. Genesis Baking Company does all the non-McDonald's, and we have customers like Wendy's and Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, many more.
So basically, if you've eaten McDonald's in a large swath of the United States, you've eaten products that are going to be run on these lines.
Very, very possible.
That is very cool.
My father lives in Nevada, and he sees our English muffin over there sometimes. So
Now, he's 80, and you just took a trip with him.
yes,
What does he think of all this? All the growth, all of the things you're doing.
he's pretty proud of it, and I'm grateful for that. Every day is not a good day. It's not all easy, but at some point in the game, he had to say, you know what? This little chick is doing it. And he's even said to me, I wouldn't do it the way you did it, Trina, but you're doing a great job. And again, as my 60-year-old self still wants to hear some of that every now and then. I worked for the company for 16 years, being the overachiever. I'm the oldest, make me the president. And he's like, hold it, lady, you're not ready. And he was right. He even put someone else in front of me as president. And, that took a minute. But came to his senses and realized that I was the one. So in 2017, he gave me an opportunity, and he opened the door, and that's all you can do, right? I asked for a chance, and we've done well. We've had our first 2 acquisitions. My father lives in Las Vegas, used to come to Ohio once a month. Now he comes once a quarter, maybe. That's nice. We can do a video chat. I talk to him all the time. I send him the cash balance. He wants to know what's in the bank every morning. It's okay. I send him the cash balance. He's on our board. He's a wealth of knowledge. But I got to tell you, I'm 60 years old. But I am grateful to be able to do something for my father, my give back, that he can enjoy his life, his retirement. He can relax and know that we're taking care of things. I have an incredible team. Out of 700 employees, I have 7 family members that work with us in different capacity, which is always an interesting event. There's 7 grandchildren.
People don't always say that with pride.
Well,
they don't in family businesses. You do. You do, and I met some of them earlier today.
We love each other, but people are people, and it's a challenge. I had a recent family meeting with the 3rd and 4th generation, just so they can understand where the business is going and growing and what's changed. One of the things I told them was, you may not like Aunt Trina, because from 8 to 5, I'm not, auntie, mama, sister friendly. I'm a business owner, I'm an executive, and I'm not responsible for just you 7, who I love dearly, but I'm responsible for 700 plus and their families, and I've got to think about all of them. So no, you don't have to work for the family business, but gosh darn it, you might want to think about it and give it some consideration, see what you might learn, because it might be somewhere you want.
So when you said in 17 or slightly before that, you weren't ready.
Right.
What weren't you ready for? Now that you've seen the role and obviously been successful in it,
Yes.
what were those big challenges?
I think it was just learning more about all the components. There's multiple stakeholders, there's banks, there's customers, and there's the people. My president and I, Mike Porter, we talk about, we just want to make buns and muffins. Gosh damn it, we're in the people business. And some days you don't really want to be in the people business. It's heavy. And you had COVID introduce itself, and emotions became a whole component. We interview people now. They want to know how many vacation days they have. It's all about the culture, you know. We had to kind of reassess our vision. The foundation was great, but the workforce is different today. So I just needed a little more time, probably just a pinch more emotional than I needed to be about some things. There's a fair amount of gray area. It's not black and white in the industry. And but as I grew up and matured, I was better. I was better.
What would you say is your biggest responsibility?
I'm responsible for over 700 families. We say like 2,000 plus individuals as you think about, you know, the families and the significant others that take it seriously. We had a former employee that said, I want to feed the world. And I said, you know what? At one point we thought that was crazy, you know, but we're doing it. We're doing things. We're providing good lives and good income for people. We recently made some changes in our scheduling at our Norwalk facility. We have 12-hour shifts. So 3 days on, 4 days off. You come for your scheduled 12-hour shift, we'll pay you for 40 hours. Helps with your performance incentive, attendance bonus, and you have a quality of life where you know when you're working, you know when you're off, you come back happier. It has minimized the amount of call-offs. It has improved our turnover percentages. And, you know, we listened. We listened to people, and that has made a difference. So I'm glad to do that. I'm glad to be a part of that. Taking care of the people. And that's my employees, that's my customers, that's the stakeholders. Keeping our word, paying our bills.
It's a lot of money. It's
Yes.
lots of automation, lots
Yes.
of technology.
Yes.
And I imagine that was a big decision too.
Yes.
And how does this come to be? Because you've
Just-
got the people side,
Yeah.
but it parallels this story
Sure.
around technology as well.
Sure. I think automation has always been a part of our business, but not to the extent that it is today in a place like this, in our most recent production lines. When I came on board in 2002, there may be, I don't know, 15, 16 people on a line. Now there's more like 6, you know, because we've automated. We've been able to use technology to build an infrastructure that allows us to grow. It's scalable. So as we need, we can add.
So I love that, the story is for manufacturing forever.
Yes.
It's more automation, more efficiency, producing more for less. That is the story of manufacturing, if you can, right? Your numbers of people per line have shrunk,
Yes.
but the number of employees you have grown considerably.
Yes.
The link to me is obviously, well, when you can produce a better product, you can sell more of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's quite a straight line.
Yes.
How did your growth actually come about?
Yes. Well, it seems like such a simple question, right? We just wanted more. We just wanted more. We've had great relationships with customers. Customers have presented needs. We've wanted to make a mark in the industry that is significant. We learned when I started with the company 23 years ago, we had one particular customer, primary customer, that was 85% of our business. Well, you shouldn't have all your buns in one basket, right? So we added our non-McDonald's business, and it allowed us to have multiple customers. If you're not growing, then you're not living. Right? So we just continue to think of ways to not reinvent, but to continue to expand.
Can you say more about what that means to keep the legacy?
My parents were married for 50 years. My mom passed away in 2014. My dad since remarried. He's happily married. And but my parents gave us the start. They gave us opportunities. And I've just been a firm believer in trying to continue that. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to carry on what my parents built. I'm grateful that my father can be in a place where he can sit back and see it happening. I'm grateful that my children have an opportunity to lead this if they choose. I joke and say, I'm not going to work till I'm 80 years old, but gosh darn, I'm having a darn good time. I can change what I do, right? I've got a great team, so it's just important. It's important to me because we were raised to protect, support, and give.